What's up, agents? Hope everybody is doing extremely well. Before getting into this new high-end skill build, I want to give a quick shout out. I want to thank all my subscribers. The channel, I started it just over a year ago. Just broke the 100 mark, so I really appreciate you guys. Real quick, I wanted to say thank you to all of my current subscribers, everybody who's recently joined, the people who continue to support me. Obviously, because my content is not family friendly, I will never be monetized by YouTube or any of these other platforms. So if you guys want to support my work to help me to continue to be able to provide this type of content or any of the type of content I provide, please consider subscribing right here on my subscribe star. Thanks a lot, guys. There is a link right down below to this. I appreciate it. Everybody be well. And without further ado, let's get into this build. So the first thing we should talk about is quickly the specializations. All right, so the first specialization that you can run is Demolitionist. If you have all 6 skill tier as your core, then you can go with Demolitionist easily, which gives you ignore explosions once every 60 seconds, 5% damage to targets out of cover for your group members. It gives you access to the artillery turret, the mortars, fragmentation grenades, which cause bleed, 10% increased explosive damage. This affects your explosive grenades, skills, and effects. Armor kits that repair 100% and boost weapon handling by 30% for 15 seconds. And you get some burn resistance. Probably the best one. You can use whatever you want, but I prefer the Technician. It allows me to run the amped +1 skill tier, so that means I could use armor as a core attribute somewhere and improve my toughness. Gives the +12% damage to drones, skill proxies, and robotics. Armor kits also apply to friendly skill proxies within 10 meters. Get the Artificer Hive if this is something that you're into. The big reason why I like Technician is for the Faraday field, which there's nothing worse as a skill build as being disrupted and not being able to use your skills, particularly in harder content when you're getting pushed on. It also gives you access to the 15% bonus. But here's the big one. You can either choose 10% skill damage or 10% skill healing, depending on the build that you're choosing. So that's 10% skill damage right there. And again, if you like one of the other ones, feel free to go ahead and use another specialization if you want. It's up to you. So, while working with a bunch of other builds and trying to figure a bunch of stuff out, I've been collecting components, and I realized that every one of my skill builds, except for my assault drone, had been based upon the hardwire set, and I decided that I wanted to try to figure out what would be the best combination of high-end pieces to build. And so I came up with this combo that consists of 2 pieces of Wyvern, which gives the skill damage and skill effects. 2 pieces of hana-u, which gives a skill haste and skill damage. The Alps Summit Percussive Maintenance, and this is the +15% repair skills, helps a healing build, but the big reason I wanted was for the perfect tech support. And then we got 1 piece China Light for explosive damage. So any skills we're using that has explosive damage or any barrels that we explode, anything like that, gets bonus damage there. So what this is, the whole idea is this is the most generic, jack of all trades, covers as much as possible high-end skill build as I could come up with. And the other part of this build is the kinetic momentum. And I'm going to do a separate video that I'm going to test all the skills with kinetic momentum and see which ones actually benefit from it, which ones don't. But for the purposes of this build, I'm going with kinetic momentum. And so, really the whole thing behind this build is just to, get a primary weapon that has spike. I'm using a custom P416 because I like an automatic weapon. I just need to simply get 1 headshot. So this makes it really easy to spray and pray. But for you rifle users, you can always go with the Surge, named high-end rifle with perfect spike. This one's a pretty goddamn good one. I haven't even rolled this one. And that's, look, I can roll that crit hit damage to max. And this is a perfect gun right here. So I'm just not very good with rifles. That's why I don't use it. Anyway, the offhand of the send-off, the shotgun with perfect distance, but the big one perfectly rooted for the 30% skill damage or healing. Offhand, do whatever you want for your sidearm. I'm using the backup boomstick because, of course, the plus 16% shotgun damage instead of plus 12. And then I rolled preservation onto it because if I need armor, this thing, as you guys know, with the double barrel sawed-offs, there are a lot of 1 or 2 hit kills. So this can get my armor recovery going pretty quick. As far as the actual pieces, of course, every one of them is simply rolled to skill haste and skill damage wherever possible. All the mod slots are skill haste, so I'll just quickly let you see. We got our kinetic momentum on here. Oh, I should. You guys caught me kind of naked without my. There we go. 11-2. So skill damage and skill haste. This would have been better if it had native skill haste on it, but hey. Repair and skill damage. This is because I don't have a better hana-u and I wanted to squeeze in that plus 10% skill damage. So I'm willing to give up, 10% skill haste, 12% skill haste, whatever, in order to get that extra plus 10% skill damage on there. Skill damage, skill haste, a little bit of armor regen. I would still take skill haste there. Skill damage, skill haste. And skill damage and skill repair, because again, the hana-us, most of the hana-us I was apparently using for repair. I think this one was because I had the 20%. I felt bad re-rolling that out. So, and then lastly, you see, so this is my standard striker build. You can see 73, 107. So I won't go through all the skills. You guys know how that works, but I will show you based on. So here's the base stats of each of these. Let's just see what these do. So the funny thing is here in the range, in order to actually proc the kinetic momentum, we got to go damage ourselves. Before we do that, let's get a baseline with this. So we're at very hard. You see 84,000. That's with perfectly rooted on there. So now once rooted is gone, now we're down to that 73,000 you'd expect to see. Same with the turret. Oh, we got a kill. So that's let me blow this up. Let's get this turret back. Okay. You damaged myself, and you guys can now see the kinetic momentum for each one, and you can tell which skill is active because the ball that's bouncing will be moving in whichever direction. So the L1, it will be moving up to the left. On the R, it'll be moving up to the right. All right, so just do this and that. Get my. Let's see. And then once the kill happens, bam, now everybody's doing more. Alright, now let's get down here, see what happens. Now let's proc a spike. Alright. There we go. And real quick in this video, just to show you guys what would happen if I take the same thing and let's switch out this like piece. So this is the kinetic momentum. I'm going to go over to basically a similar, notwithstanding the that mod slot. If I put this guy on, the same damage and everything else. Alright, so reset these skills. Yeah, so this only hits 230,000 at peak. So I have to say, kinetic momentum for the win. All right, guys. Well, in conclusion, this is a great all-around build if you just want to be able to swap in and out of skills. It basically covers the gamut, and I'll say pretty much all the skills are at about 90% plus of their absolute top potential with this build right here. Yeah, you could spec into a couple very specific things specifically, but this pretty much covers it. Real quick, I'll just go over a quick summarization of everything. So we got spike, perfect distance, rooted. And I think if we go down to the gear talents, perfect tech support, kinetic momentum. We got 2 pieces of Wyvern, 1 piece Alps, 1 piece China, 2 piece hana-u. And on the defensive end, little squishy. Again, you guys could roll one of the skill tiers into 170,000 armor, kick this up to 830,000 armor, and definitely kick up your toughness a bit there. A little bit of armor regen, a little bit of health regen, and none of the rest worth talking about. So I hope you guys got something out of this, and if nothing else, we'll give consideration to running kinetic momentum and seeing how you like it. If you guys like this content, please hit the like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Best of all, if you could share this, that would be great. You guys be safe out there, and I will see you agents in the dark zone.